na mo ron chumena mataka ni ko ni rongo ni bibo ko mataka ke misa wapo ni ana di sambulu bidang na sero go di sana ni churi kira na mo ron chumai tuna sile ni sambula oyo Mr. Ben kelapa na magikira ni bibo mataka mo ni chikira mo ron buka mai na ono kena diwa ena bula FM
FBC News, I'm Jackie Spate. In this bulletin, Pacific parliamentarians discuss ways to make region free from corruption. There's a strong possibility local teachers can teach English in China. And Parliamentary Standing Committee hears submissions on 8 conventions tabled in Parliament earlier this month. First up in our bulletin tonight, police have gathered information that could help identify the suspect who raped a 9-year-old girl in Akasi, Nausori 2 weeks ago. Chief of Intelligence and Investigations Henry Brown says the suspect is an Itauke, slim-built, tall and of dark complexion. On the day of the offense, he was wearing a white collar shirt, 3/4 denim trousers and black slippers. He has a tattoo of a green long-necked bird on his leg and walks with a distinct limp. Other details include a dark mole on the top of his right small finger. He has a boxed haircut, the size of his head neatly shaven, and has a punk. Anyone with information is kindly requested to call 9905-638 or the Divisional Crime Officer on 9905-618. Pacific parliamentarians are gathering in Nadi today to discuss what they can do to make the region free from corruption. The 2-day anti-corruption workshop for Pacific parliamentarians was opened by the President Ratuepeli Nailatikau this morning. Eleanor Tarangaiviu has more.
Parliamentarians against corruption. Members of parliament from Fiji, Nauru, Niue, Papua New Guinea, Samoa, Tonga and Tuvalu are today discussing about corruption, an increasingly critical issue that not only affects us at the national and regional level, but at the global level as well.
We are here as parliamentarians, regional leaders, and indeed champions from countries of the Pacific to deliberate on what more we can all do to ensure that we have countries and a region that is as corrupt-free as possible during our time.
Corruption robs the world of approximately $2.6 trillion a year. In the Pacific, the consequences of corruption are extremely high and robs people of honest, decent, clean and sustainable livelihoods.
Corruption is undeniably one of the most serious impediments to human development. It undermines democracy and the rule of law, leads to violations of human rights, distorts markets, erodes quality of life, and allows organized crime, terrorism, and other threats to human security to flourish.
The workshop is aimed at helping Pacific countries that have yet to accede to the UN Convention Against Corruption to do so.
ANCAC is unique. It provides a holistic approach, adopting prevention and enforcement measures for criminalizing corrupt behavior.
Of the countries represented in the workshop, only Fiji, Nauru and Papua New Guinea are party to the convention. Eleanor Tarangaiviu, FBC News.
The Parliamentary Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs and Defence heard submissions on 8 international conventions tabled in the last Parliament sitting. The Solicitor General's Office and the Permanent Secretary Foreign Affairs were among those appearing before the committee today. Ellen Stolz reports.
Director of Environment Aminiasi Ngaringare made submissions on the 8 conventions, stressing mostly that Fiji would benefit economically.
Into this convention will mean that Fiji will be able to prevent pollution from vessels in accordance with the convention and its enforcement. So any type of pollution that happens from vessel, whether it's oil, whether it's garbage, whether it's sewer, whether it's GHG emissions, this convention will surely bind those that often traffic our high seas and assist us greatly, Honourable Chair.
Committee member and opposition MP Tupou Ndronindalo questioned the resources dedicated to enforcing environment protection laws in Fiji.
Enforcement is a big issue with the department in terms of the resources and the offices that we have.
Committee Chairman Netani Rika says submissions today were fruitful.
Know that we still need more information, and we have agreed to bring in more stakeholders that are relevant to these 8 treaties, and we're including more on the private sector and the ministry as well to be a part of this deliberation.
The 8 conventions mostly deal with environmental issues such as salvage, liability for bunker oil pollution, facilitating international marine traffic, and preventing pollution from ships. The committee is expected to submit its report in Parliament's August sitting. Ellen Stahls, FBC News.
Teachers in Fiji will soon have a chance to teach in one of China's fastest-growing provinces, Guangdong. This has been confirmed by Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama as he continues his state visit to the People's Republic of China. Akosita Tale has more.
Guangdong is a coastal province of southeast China with a population of about 100 million. It is an important international market for trade, investment, consumption, tourism, and a global manufacturing center. Possibilities are high for teachers in Fiji to move to China and teach English lessons in Guangdong, the most populous province. Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama offered the chances of placing Fijian teachers there while meeting with Guangdong Province Party Secretary Ho Chunhua on Saturday. Bainimarama says Fijian teachers can make an immense contribution to China's effort to improve the English language skills of its people. He says this is especially in the area of international trade, which is a priority for Guangdong. During the meeting, the Prime Minister sought assistance to improve and expand sporting facilities in Suva. Fiji has a special connection with Guangdong Province as a large number of Fijians of Chinese descent are from there. Bainimarama also visited My Dear Corporation and Luva Furnishing Exhibition Center and paid a visit to the Tramchi Corporation Guangzhou Automobile Group in Guangdong, Longzhou Shipyard of Guangzhou Shipyard International, and Haitira Communications Company Limited. Bainimarama also met Ma Jingrui, the Deputy Secretary of the Communist Party of China. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
Still to come on FBC News, fault in underground cable causes streetlights outage in Greater Suva area.
If you just joined us on the System After Dark, this is a homegrown number courtesy of E3 and Cracker.
Bulla, how's it going? I'm D, your host on the System After Dark, right here on Today FM. Today's hit music. You can catch me weeknights at 7 p.m. That's from Monday to Friday, only on the home of Today's hit music. And don't forget, that's D with you every weeknight on the System After Dark.
There are common signs to look out for if you believe someone has been raped or sexually assaulted. Victims often display abnormal behavior and become distant from friends and family. Ritika Pratap has more.
Child survivors of sexual assault and rape normally endure a lot of difficulties to get back on track and get accepted back into the family. Counselors often have to find signs of abnormality within a child to break the barrier and help a child to open up.
Some of them, their own family do not believe that they're telling the truth. So as counselors, we're there, we believe that we are there, we let them know that we are here to hear their story and validate, the enormous emotional turmoil that they're going through at that time, not just emotional, but psychological as well.
The memory of that event becomes abnormally absorbed. Because it was so traumatic, the mind cannot deal with it. And to preserve your own sanity or the person's sanity, the mind's defenses are up to swallow that whole memory without, attention to detail.
Alita Wangabada of the NGO Empower Pacific says they have to tread slowly with child survivors, and it takes more than one session for them to open up.
Some of the impact, it could be maybe because the child is start to relive the incident again. They're showing it by, reenacting play with other children as well. So that's when it's been highlighted and it's been referred to us. Other cases where maybe just numbness and avoidance, or sometimes, parents do come and then they say that, they're having nightmares, but not really realizing the cause of why the nightmares were happening.
But there are factors that are important to consider. One is the age of the child, the developmental, the developmental level, what type of abuse has happened, you see the degree, was it one time, was it ongoing, the abuser or the perpetrator, is he related or unknown to the child, was there physical threat, all these sorts of factors play,
Dr. Ellen and Wangabada told FBC TV's For the Record program that victims often suffer from traumatic stress disorder, and it becomes very complicated when the perpetrator is known to the victim. This normally has an impact on the entire family. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Most streetlights in Suva, Lami, as well as along the Suva-Nausori corridor have been out of order for over a week, and the Fiji Roads Authority has identified the cause of outage, saying it is working quickly to address the problem. Eleanor Tarangai reports.
These streetlights have not been working, and the fault is related to an underground cable.
If it's a whole lot of streetlights going out, then you can usually track that down to a circuit that's feeding more than one streetlight, and so it's not just a matter of replacing a bulb or a light. When it comes to a significant amount of streetlights out, then it'll generally be a significant issue that's caused that to happen.
Prime Fiji Limited, the company tasked with installing and maintaining all streetlights and traffic lights, has started working on repairing the fault to get the lights back on as soon as possible.
If a fault occurs and it takes row of streetlights out, all we can realistically do is repair the cable fault. If it's an old cable that's given frequent trouble, then we would look at replacing the whole circuit.
Dale Nicole says there is no backup plan in place when streetlights go out. What they do is trace back the cable to see where the fault lies.
We're dealing with some pretty old infrastructure at the moment, and so we are in a process as if we find out there's continuing faults along a certain circuit, we would look at replacing the entire cable.
Repairs began yesterday and continues today. The cause of the fault in the underground cable is yet to be known. Eleanor Turangiviu, FBC News.
Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy has received positive feedback from parents of students of Nandunga Navosa High School. Reddy met the parents over the weekend to discuss plans to convert the school into a technical college. Ali Kimbia has more.
The meeting in Singatoka on the weekend was aimed at cleaning any wrong perceptions anyone might have about the proposed change. Siteri Tonge was among other parents who met the Education Minister, Dr. Mahendra Reddy.
We signed the petition because we did not know the good impact it will have on us. Now that it has been elaborated to us by the minister, we have agreed to it.
Reddy informed the parents of the importance of changing the school into a technical college.
We wanted the people of Nandunga, to have a technical college campus here so that all the youths who are unemployed, who are engaging in all kinds of issues, can come and study, upskill themselves, graduate with the qualification, and enter the labour market.
The change is the subject of a petition tabled in Parliament by opposition member William Ngaboka. According to Ngaboka, about 240 parents have signed the petition.
The petition will stay, and we'd like it to go through the proper channel, to go through to the parliamentary committee. My take is that the vast majority are still very much against the conversion of the school.
The Ministry of Education says the establishment of technical colleges will help upskill unemployed youths so that they can be gainfully employed. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
While public consultations on the National Development Plan continues, a non-government organisation, Femling Pacific, is urging decision-makers not to disregard the views of women in the country. Femling Pacific Executive Director Sharon Bhagwan Rolls says women's opinion in development of any country is very important. Shireen Lata reports.
Femling Pacific has been conducting consultations in various divisions to find out the status of women in rural and urban areas. A recent consultation was held in Lambasa last week.
Consultation so far with 100 women leaders who represent an additional viewpoint of 3,000 women are helping us understand as an organisation what are the key development priorities as women see it, and to assist us then in communicating.
The organisation believes if the concerns and the plight of women aren't taken into consideration, they will continue to suffer in silence.
Women going without water for 20, 30 years throughout a woman's married life, and the distance travelled to access maternity health care, the lack of responsive sexual reproductive health and rights information for young people.
Rolls says there should be equity and equal representation of women of all diversities in decision-making processes in order to move the country forward. The last round of consultations will take place on the 27th of this month to find out whether the issues brought forward by rural women differ from those in the urban areas. Sharin Lata, FBC News.
Sports now, here's Jamie with the latest.
Nakadzeki, and good evening. In sports tonight, flying Fijians out to reclaim world top 10 spot. And Fasanok says finance was a major factor for Fiji's overall performance at the Pacific Games. Stay with us for the details.
Gold FM, only the classic hits. Beautiful song from the group Firehouse and When I Look Into Your Eyes. Before that, you heard from Smokey Robinson with One Heartbeat. We'll take a short break and join us in the next hour for more music from Seal. Bulletin. I'm DJ Tora. Join me every weekdays, 7 until midnight on the Premium Classics. Right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits.
The Vodafone Flying Fijians say it will use its remaining matches in the Pacific Nations Cup competition to improve its world ranking. The team departs for Sacramento, USA later tonight for its next match against Samoa this Saturday. Josephine Avula has more.
The national 15 squad held its last pool session in the country today before they depart our shores for the match against Samoa. Head coach John McKee says they are targeting more than a win for the tournament.
We want to do well, not just to try to win the PNC, but also for world ranking points. You know, those teams like Samoa, Japan, are just near us on the world ranking. So if we can get wins in these games, that it'll help get us back into the top 10.
McKee adds the upcoming match against Samoa will be tough.
Yeah, well, Samoa, they maybe have a slight advantage in that they've been already over there, so they've had the travel behind them. But I think, you know, we'll have a close look at their game against the USA, and we'll do our analysis on the flight tonight. And
McKee says there are no injury concerns with the team at the moment. Fiji takes on Samoa at 12 p.m. at Sacramento in USA on Saturday. Josephine Novula, FBC Sports.
Vodafone Fiji Sevens captain Osea Kolinisau says the performance of the national squad at the Pacific Games will be a boost to their preparation for the Olympics. He made these comments at Vodafone Fiji's 21st birthday at the Natandola Golf Course in Singatoka last week. Kolinisau added that the players have shown great potential and they will need to be consistent for the upcoming tournaments.
It's a really good performance. The goal was to win gold in SPG, and they won gold. I think the new boy stepped up really good, and it's going to make it tough for Ben Ryan to choose the next team for the next leg and for the coming Olympics.
The Fiji Sevens team defeated Samoa 33-7 to win gold at the Pacific Games. Team Fiji officials say finance played a major part in its fourth place outing at the Pacific Games, which ended on Saturday in Papua New Guinea. The team arrived back last night, and while concerns are being raised on their overall performance, Fasanok says Team Fiji needs time to get better. Indra Singh has more.
After 2 hectic weeks of competition, the last batch of Team Fiji athletes and officials landed in Nadi last night, and Fasanok says lessons were learned from the games.
When you compare Team Fiji to the money that PNG was given, PNG team was given 44 million for their preparation. 44 million.
While host PNG won the games comfortably, Roden remains adamant it was all down to the money poured in compared to Team Fiji.
Great hit. Wasaki, Rara Tambu.
I think overall Team Fiji performed very well when you consider the facts, the finance that we had to go through to raise money. But overall we performed very well. We moved up from 6th place to 4th place. We were just behind Tahiti by 3 or 4 gold medals.
However, the man in charge has given his word that Fiji will only get better with the time, despite not having performed well in sports such as athletics.
Fiji it is, birthday. Athletics is in a building up phase. When we left, we said we were going to win 8 gold medals. We missed out on the 2 relay because a couple of our boys were injured. You know, that's not an excuse, but we were in a building up phase. The next 4 years, athletic will be back at the top, right?
He also praised Team Fiji athletes and officials for putting the country pride before anything else.
If we are given the money, we will perform. But we are happy with the way we perform because most of the athletes perform out of the passion of the sports. They love the sports and they perform to the expectation of their team, right?
The planning stages for the 2019 games to be held in Tonga needs to begin now. After all, it boils down to how much we want to win the games and how much we are willing to invest. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, the Fiji Pearls and Pacific Sprint King Banuve Tambakaudoro also arrived with the contingent last night. The Pearls and Tambakaudoro were among Fiji's best performers at the games. Rohit Deo has more.
The Fiji team may have finished 4th at the Pacific Games in Papua New Guinea, but there were some athletes who did prove that they are the best in the region. The Fiji netball side was one of them who finished on top without dropping any game.
It was a fantastic week. We didn't drop a game and yeah, really exciting for us to retain our status as the best team in the Oceania region, aside from New Zealand. So yeah.
Unlike other athletes, there won't be any resting time for the Fiji Pearls as they prepare to take on the Silver Ferns later this week.
And then we play the Silver Ferns on Thursday, so that's a huge step up. And so yeah, just not a long turnaround, and then yeah, on court again on Thursday in Wellington.
Banuve Tambakaudoro also stole the show with his record-breaking run in the 200 meters and also the gold medal finish in the 100 meters. The speed merchant is not letting his foot off the accelerator as his quest for Olympic Games qualification continues.
The Olympics is within my sights, so we'll try and qualify first, which I still haven't done. I was 0.03 off the mark in PNG for the 200, so I still got another chance next month at the World Champs in China, so we're going to go right now back to basics and just carry on from there.
The next Pacific Games is 4 years away, and for sure netball and Tambakaudoro will be back to repeat the heroics of 2015. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
The Nriketi football side is celebrating its advancement to Premier Division football after a 0-0 draw against Nesinu yesterday. The draw allowed Nriketi to qualify with an upper hand on away goals. Team coach Johan Leewai says they had been working towards this goal for a while and it took a lot of effort to achieve it.
It was a long process. It was a planning of about 4 months with the players themselves, basically the players. Yeah, when I got these boys from Lambas, Henry, Kushal, and Mahen Lal, they were sort of the core of the team. With the experienced boys who were part of the team already, like Otiko, Sisa, Sukia. So we planned it properly. We knew what we were going to do each game at a time, and till this last game against Nesinu, we knew what we had to do to achieve the goal we had in mind.
The Northerners replaced Tailevu Naita Siri, who have been relegated. That is your sports for tonight. It's back to Jackie now with business.
Vodafone Fiji has launched its newest internet service enabling dedicated high-speed connection at low cost over the traditional landlines. The Symmetric Digital Subscriber Line is a broadband technology that enables faster data transmission and communication. Vodafone Fiji says it's ideal for customers seeking high performance and consistent speeds at home. There are 3 plans on offer. Fine weather conditions was experienced over most places today. A trough of low pressure lies over Solomons and extends southeastwards over Vanuatu. Another weak trough lies over Rotuma and extends eastwards over Samoa. An east to southeast wind flow prevails over most southwest Pacific Island countries. Suva and Savu continue to be the coolest centers, again hitting 27 degrees. Lambasa the warmest again at 32 degrees. Tomorrow, brief showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. Elsewhere it will be fine and cool at nights. Outlook for Wednesday, fine apart from brief showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands, cool at night. And the main points again. Pacific parliamentarians discuss ways to make region free from corruption. There's a strong possibility local teachers can teach English in China, and Parliamentary Standing Committee hears submissions on 8 conventions tabled in Parliament earlier this month. Now to our pulse segment. And the results from last week's question we had asked, should operating hours of nightclubs and bars be reviewed? 72% said yes. This week we are asking, should there be a sex offenders registry? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. Good night.
घर संसार में आपका स्वागत है। आपका अपना छोटा सा स्वर, जहाँ प्यार भरे रिश्ते पलते हैं, जहाँ हेल्थी रहने की सलाह दी जाती है, जहाँ हम आपको और भी सुंदर बनाते हैं और जहाँ स्वाद की सौगात भी है। नमस्कार, मैं हूँ पल्लवी। सोमवार से शुक्रवार 9 से 12 तक रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन पर घर संसार में शामिल रहिए मेरे साथ।
ऐसा सुंदर सपना अपना